What's going on, people? It's your boy Puerto'S 77. What's going on, fam? And I'm back with another Point live. It's not going to be a too long one. It's going to be pretty quick, you know. Just to address something that we got going on. I got my mic here. I got to make sure it sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good. All right. So this is what we're going with. All right. We're going to touch on this point real quick. But before that, I want to appreciate everybody who, let me fix this little mix it up. This up. I want to thank everybody that's been supporting the channel, that's been showing up, you know, that's been conversating, hitting me up on Twitter. I appreciate that. You know, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. But we're going to get to the point. So, as we all know, or most of us should know by now, Visceral Studios got closed down. All right. Top Dog, what's going on? What's up? Savage Uger, what's up? What's going on? Thanks for joining the chat. And everybody who's coming in, thank you so much. All right. Now, some of us may know, may not know by now that EA shut down Visceral Studios. They were the developers of a very popular game called Dead Space. And some pieces of information came out. One piece of information was apparently Dead Space 2. And I apologize if there's times I'm not directly looking at you at the camera. Again, it's because I'm paying attention to the chat and stuff like that. So bear with me, please. But apparently Dead Space 2 cost $60 million to make, and it didn't reach the target that it was supposed to. It didn't meet expectations. Now, the key word is didn't meet expectations. And Chris Jones, GT Sport is the best digital foundry has spoken. That's going to be interesting. What are you guys talking about? Well, we'll talk about that another time. I'll do another Porter's Point. I don't know. I keep hearing stuff, but we're going to stick to the topic. $60 million to make and didn't meet expectations. They didn't say it wasn't profitable. It just didn't meet expectations. That's what one of the developers from Visceral said. All right, $60 million to make. Now, that's an interesting number because Uncharted 2, it took $25 million to make. And these are both games that were made during that generation of gaming, you know, the 360 PS3 generation. So I'm thinking, how does, and listen here, I'm not going to argue Uncharted 2 is a better game than Dead Space 2 or vice versa. That's a preference. But there's one thing we can't argue is the technical development of the game, the production value. It is clear that Uncharted 2 was one of the best produced games of last gen based on a technical level. And what Naughty Dog was able to accomplish, the voice acting, the mocap, just the overall production value of the game, top notch, and one of the best examples. And they did it with $25 million. Dead Space, loved Dead Space franchise, absolutely loved the franchise. But I don't see how that game was $60 million. So to me, there's a difference between a good developer that makes good games, which is Visceral, good developer that made good games. There's a difference between that and a good developer that is good at making good games. Naughty Dog. They are a good developer that is good at making good games. They just don't know how to make good games. They are good at making it. They're more proficient. And as you can tell, Uncharted 2, $25 million. Dead Space 2, $60 million. You could double the cost of Uncharted and it will still be cheaper than Dead Space 2. So I don't know how that transpired. I don't see the stark difference. If I were to tell all you guys, hey, we got Dead Space 2 and we got Uncharted 2. One game cost $60 million, one game cost $25 million. I don't think anybody in the world would pick Dead Space 2 as the game to cost $60 million. Production-wise. Now, again, I'm not talking about personal enjoyment of the game. I'm just talking about the production value, the graphics, the technical assets, the voice acting, the mocap. Dead Space didn't do any of that stuff compared to how Uncharted 2. So it's just crazy how it's just cost that much, you know? It's just... But anyway, single-player games are dead. Long-live games as a service. Listen, majority of the people making that point, let's be honest, are within the Xbox community. They're making that point. Listen, no one's arguing that multiplayer games that are service-based are successful. No one's arguing that. Many of them are very, very successful. All right? But let's not pretend many of them are also failures. It's funny when people talk about service-based games, they only talk about the success when it meets their narrative. But they don't talk about the failures. unless it meets their narrative. Let's take Lawbreakers. Lawbreakers falls in that category as, you know, games as a service, right? But the only time they mention Lawbreakers failure is when they want to put a knock on PS4 or give props to Xbox. Then they're going to mention that game as a failure. But when we have the topics of success, they never bring up games like Lawbreaker or Battleborn. They only bring up the Call of Duty, the Destiny, the Overwatch. They ignore the consistent failures. In fact, let's put it this way. The month of, it was July, I think it was, or was it August? I think it was August. What was July? The month, yeah, or June was it? It was the month where Hellblade and Lawbreakers came out at the same time. They both came out at the same month. Which was the successful game? The single player one. Oh, hey, how about that? How many single player games have been successful this year? Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, in fact, don't most gamers say The Witcher 3 is probably one of the best games this generation? Single player game. You know, listen, as gamers, I can understand we talk about games as a service is more financially, some tend to be more financially successful compared to single player games. Like Grand Theft Auto, because of the online, it's like 70 million. It's done better than it's ever done before. No one's arguing the success of multiplayer, but there's a difference between saying the success, you know, something that's more successful doesn't mean it's the end of another product. Because if that's the case, then Xbox is dead, right? No one's saying that Xbox is dead, right? Simply because PlayStation sold 60 plus million and is on its way to achieving 100 million, and Xbox will be lucky if it can even reach 50, 60 million. No one's saying Xbox is dead, right? Because of the vast successful difference. More people are buying PlayStations worldwide than Xbox. That's a fact. Does that mean Xbox is dead? No. The success, the huge success of another game doesn't mean the end of another one. There is still single player games are still successful and they still add value to gaming. Because keep in mind, here's the dangerous thing. There's not going to be a world where we're going to have nothing but service-based games. In fact, we're going to hate that because there's nothing going to be carbon copy of games. Look at Lawbreakers. Lawbreakers failed because of what? What is everybody saying about Lawbreakers? Oh, it's a Overwatch clone. Well, what do you think games as a first is going to be all across the spectrum? It's going to be nothing but carbon clones. It's just the same repetitive game over and over. I remember when Division was being hyped, that was the Destiny killer. Because it's going to do things that Destiny 1 don't do. How did that turn out? After like 2-3 weeks, everybody was bored and moved the hell on. You know what I'm saying? Single player games will always have its place. Sure, some people say, oh, you know, single player games are one and done. You're right. You finish that game and then you move on to other content and other experiences. You know, you think all these people that are playing Grand Theft Auto are playing all these games that came out this year? No, they're just staying on Grand Theft Auto and Madden, and that's all they play. They play 1 or 2 games for the entire year, and that's not healthy for the industry. You need variety, you need different experiences, and a lot of hardcore gamers will do that. A lot of hardcore gamers will play a new game, as long as you keep pushing them out. But to create an industry where you could play one game for 3-4 years, that's not healthy. How is it healthy that there's a gamer right now that owns an Xbox or owns a PlayStation and the only game they're playing is Grand Theft Auto? They never played The Witcher. They're not playing Shadow of War. They're not going to play PUBG. They're not playing Destiny. They're not playing anything. They're not playing Horizon. They're not going to play. They're not even going to play Halo or Forza. How is that a healthy industry when one game is pretty much monopolizing everybody's time? Now, granted, it's their right to do that. If that's what they like and that's all they want to play, cool. But why create an industry that does that? You know, the gamer that's playing nothing but Grand Theft Auto 5, that's that gamer's choice. You know, at least the rest of us, we have choices to play. You know, we have choice. I have the ability to play Hellblade. I have the ability to go out and play Mass Effect. I can play The Witcher 3. I can play Horizon Zero Dawn. I can play Neo. I could play Cuphead. I could play Rise. I have choice. But all you guys agreeing, yeah, single player is dead. You know, everything's going. If you keep pushing that narrative, it's going to happen. And this time we're going to be stuck with limited games that are nothing but carbon copies of each other. We're just going to be stuck with the Lawbreakers and, you know, the Destinies that look alike. The Call of Duties and the Battlefields. the Anthems and the Destinies. They're just all gonna look alike. We're not gonna have variety. We're not gonna have great experiences. Sure, games as a service have been successful, but not all of them have been successful. Again, I go back to Lawbreakers. We could talk about Battleborn. What's another one? Paragon. There's a lot of games as a service that are not successful at all. It's a mixture. At the end of the day, single player games provide story based, and even gameplay mechanics that are beyond enjoyable than just repetitive paintball shooting over and over and over. There are a lot of gamers that want stories, and there are a lot of gamers that want games that focuses on gameplay that they can master. Look at Cuphead, amazing game. That is not a game as a service game. Now tell me which game you'd rather play, Lawbreakers or Cuphead? You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, I got my man Zaire. Oh, here we go. This guy wants to start some shit. All right, I'll send you a link. You could get this work. I'm gonna hook you up. Hold on. I'm gonna send it right now, dog. Because I don't know what's going on, man. Your boys, they be doing all this nonprofit work on Xbox, man. We gotta stop this nonprofit work. Don't get you nowhere. All this nonprofit work. Here you go. I sent Zaire. Now we about to cut up. We about to cut up now. You about to see Game 7 of the World Series right now. Let me tweet this out. This is gonna be enjoyable. You're getting this live. So now, because I'm enjoying, I'm gonna turn off the camera, so I can save some bandwidth. All right, but we're about to cut it up, my man. Let me go. There we go. We're about to cut it up. Woo! Hey, are you, ladies and gentlemen, are you not entertained? You know what I'm saying? To everybody in the chat, we got NEXTGEN720. Hopefully his arthritis don't kick in. And he's about to join in. And we about to have this talk also. We're going to have this talk. We're going to have this little chat. My man, he needs a... What's it called? Oh, there we go.
Hey, man, what's all this I'm hearing, man?
Here we go. Look at this. Yeah, man, you and your people's doing all this non-profit work for Microsoft. What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on here, bro?
What's going on, bro?
Motherfuckers just want to play Lawbreakers for the rest of their life. What the fuck is going on here, bro?
Your daily schizophrenic show ain't talking to yourself, man.
Yo, bro, they're trying to take God of War away from us, bro. We can't have that. They're trying to make us. They're trying to say single player is dead, bro. These motherfuckers. Yeah. No, so no, it's not an article because of the whole visceral thing.
Okay.
They're using the failure of visceral as a means to say, see, this is proof that single player is dead, long live games as a service. So in other words, they're trying to force us to play that slave simulator, Sea of Thieves, and they're trying to shut down God of War. I ain't having that. I'm not having that. I'm not doing that. You know you peoples. You know how they do. They're ready to shut down single player gaming. What's going on, bro? Why?
To be fair, right? To be fair, I know at this point, I think in this day and age, we are a last of a dying breed. You're about 47 years old, young. I'm the end of 40. So gaming is a little different from us, and then this newer generation. To be fair, and most games that are successful in this climate are the service-based games. I was listening. You don't have too many Witchers. Those are few and far in between. You know what I mean? So in this climate, and again, games like that cost. Even if we will both agree, right, that Horizon Zero Dawn was a success, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't make. They still lost money on the title because it cost so much to make. Believe it or not. And that game will probably have to sell, 8 million copies or something to get their money back. But they try to make the money back by selling me hardware. We'll get you to buy more software. That's the way that they level those out. Games like that. Not everyone's a Nintendo. That has those, the Marios or the Zeldas. You don't really, they don't have any multiplayer, but you're gonna buy it for whatever you get out of it. So I honestly, I listen. People say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Now, me, I prefer a single player, story-driven game. But even in that, I think we are a few and far between. Listen, look, Shadow of War, right? Great reviews, But how they're making the money with the loot crates, and you understand what I'm saying? Because those games cost so much money to produce and to make. Look, I'm gonna say this first, last, and you can take over from here, right? I maybe it was on a multiplayer or one of the shows that we were on, or whatever the case may be, right? And I said, being that we got these mid-generation refreshes, Sony came out with the Pro last year, Microsoft was kind of with the X in a few weeks, right? So isn't it maybe meant to extend the generation? Because normally, I mean, when we were growing up, a generation was 5 years, 4 years, we get new hardware, and that was it for that previous generation. But now these games are so big and they take so long to make and produce. Like, look at CD Projekt, when the Witcher, they've been working on Cyberpunk for about 3-4 years. That game is probably still 2 years old. So literally, this generation may not end to about 21, 22. You understand what I'm saying? There's the Kojima game. You're not going to see that till at least probably about 2020, 2019. I was just reading; they didn't even start production for the Last of Us 2. You know what I mean? But what's your take? I'm not saying it's a dying market, but it's not the viable force that it once was, especially when you came with the online multiplayer aspect of things and how they can piggyback and continue to make money off those games. But you know what I mean?
All right, let me say a couple of things. So I don't know where the whole Horizon didn't make its money from. Okay, I don't think there was an article. If you could post it, because I never seen an article that says there's people who are assuming that Horizon didn't make his money.
Let me say one thing, right? The Moss, the new guy rock out, Monty Moss. He's the numbers man.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna put his business out there in the street, but that's his particular field and stuff that he does. Actually, I go find a link and I go dust it on him. So, but yeah, even look, Quantum Break or whatever the case, right? Or Rise or Son of Rome. Yeah. That's sold well over 1 million, right? People think damn, it's sold over 1 million. But again, the game cost so much to make that they didn't make their money back. Microsoft probably took about $8 per copy. You got to give Walmart or whoever games, so they get about $6. Then you got shipping, manufacturing. They didn't really make their money. You know what I mean? So they thought it was so.
Here's my thing with the cost of development. Well, we're going to use Dead Space 2 because it's perfect, because we know the number, because the developer from Visceral said it cost $60 million, but he said it didn't meet expectations. He didn't say it wasn't profitable. He just said it didn't meet EA's expectations. So who knows what was the expectation? Okay. But here's my thing. Right? All right. So Dead Rising 2 was a 360 PS3 game. It came out in that generation of games, right? Sir. And it cost $60 million. In that same generation of gaming, Uncharted 2 came out and only cost Sony $25 million to make. And now, I'm not going to argue which game is better, which game was more fun. But I think we can agree that on a technical level, on the production level, Uncharted 2 shits on Dead Space 2. On what Sony, graphically, the voice acting, the mocap, the animation, just on the technical production level. If I were to say this, Zaire, if I put you those two games in front of you, and I say, hey, Zaire, this is Dead Space 2, this is Uncharted 2. One game cost $60 million to make. The other game was $25 million. You're not going to pick Dead Space 2 as a $60 million game.
I can tell you why the price was different. Why so much?
Why?
Two things. A, you're developing for 2 consoles, actually 3, PC included. So that's another part of the cost, and also to advertising.
I think that's what it is. I think it's the advertising.
Advertising.
That's what grew the most.
Listen, no, you got to realize this: the cell processor was a bitch to make games for. You know,
yeah.
And when you had the 360, even with the with better real easy, you know what I mean? The fact that again, when it's just this generation, both of these consoles are x86, not that far apart. But a lot of the stuff, was one thing. So for making your 2 development teams, one for the PS3 version, one for the 360 version, then you had advertisement. You know what I mean? And when they say it doesn't meet expectation, no, they want to get their money back and then some. And that's when they start talking like that. It's sold well, but it really didn't meet our expectation. Yeah, it sold over 1 million, but we didn't make our money back. We spent more than we got. You know what I mean? That's
but porting games doesn't almost triple the cost, because usually, like, let's say EA, they make their games on PC first, and then we just get ports. Everything's a port of
PC to the
everything's not built. Everything's built. Yeah, even with the cell processor. That's the reason why the PS3 got the worst version of the game, because it wasn't built. In fact, one of the few developers that built it on the PS3 first and then ported it to PC 360, there was only 2 developers that did that. It was Criterion with Burnout and Platinum Games with not Bayonetta, but the game they made after. Vanquish.
Yeah.
And that's why those games came out good. They didn't come out all fucked up. They didn't come out sub 30 frames, sub HD, because they made the game first on that platform, PS3, and ported it over. These port jobs is always focused on one platform first, which 90% was PC. 90% of these games that are on all three consoles, PC is made first, and then it's just a port version over to the console. It's never built from the ground up on each individual platform. It's one platform first, Now PS3, during that era, almost all those multiplats was built on PC first, if it was coming to PC. If it wasn't coming to PC, let's say like Red Dead Redemption, then they built the 360 one first, and then they just ported it over. And whatever PS3 couldn't handle, weaker texture, less this, less that, then that's just how the game is. It's just going to end up that way.
You also, too, what you got to throw in there, first of all, it will be much cheaper because it's in-house. You know what I mean? And also, too, languages, too. You know what I mean? I was reading, putting shit in German or Venezuelan, what what I mean, Portugal, whatever. All that little stuff. In different countries, again, have taxes. Canada, they get their head knocked in. Like, it's a difference.
Yeah, but Sony has to do all that too. I'm just saying this. Let's look at it this way though. Between Uncharted 2, between Uncharted 2 and Dead Space 2, you can double the cost.
Okay, look at this.
Of Uncharted 2, and it's still cheaper than Dead Space.
You want a prime example? I'll give you the perfect example. Look at this here on the rock. And I think listen. I'm not disagreeing which one's the better game. I think I did like Dead Rising. Dead Rising 2. I didn't care for the last one. But it's not really like that. All that's subjective, right? But I'll give you an example, right? You look at Cuphead, right? We both would agree it's an amazing game, right?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And with a very small team, maybe not with the budget as of a EA or whatever, but they made wonders. They made it do what it do, right? They say we just call it hard work would beat talent any day of the week. You know what I mean? They went there and handed it out done. You know what I mean? Even though then they crippled them financially, they had to put out loans on their house. But that game right there, $20 game, was better than a lot of things right now that we play on for $60. You know what I mean? Now where that money was spent on, maybe lunches, jacuzzis, I don't know. You know what I mean? But even with that being said, though, Puerto Rock, what you got to understand is how much did it take them to make that game?
For what? Dead Space 2?
Yeah.
Oh, Cuphead?
No, Dead Space 2.
Cuphead?
No,
Dead Space 2? Dead Space or Cuphead?
No,
I'll say a couple hundred.
No. Talking about Dead Space.
Which
2.
game? Which game?
Dead Space 2.
Dead Space 60 million.
Okay. Now you can at least double that for this generation. At least double.
No, because I just saw a tweet saying Horizon was 45 million.
Well, again, that's in house to Puerto Rock.
I don't think it's double. Yeah, but in house it doesn't really matter. On house they're using the same tools, especially now it's all x86. It's the same tools and program. Can you agree to this? Okay, can you agree to this? All right. There's a big difference between a good developer that can make a good game visceral and a good developer that is good at making good games. Naughty Dog. Because like I said, like you can have one player that takes you a month to make code, and you have another dude that does it in 3 days. Who you think is going to put more bang for the buck in making a game? Here's the thing. We can't coddle developers. It is a job, which means if this is a job and a skill, you have to be proficient and good at it.
I don't think that's not what I'm saying. And again, I'm gonna say this right. What I'm saying, right? Everybody has their own different way. Look, you're a big fan of baseball, right? Everybody got their routine before they walk up to the mountain, right? Sony ain't having this shit. They scale get you. Hey, listen, you got a deadline to meet this. You meet it, or you're out the door. They listen. They listen. And to their credit, even though they may have some delays, they run that thing like a fine tune machine. You know what I mean? But again, look, prime example. Listen, it's crazy, right? I went back and forth with crapping those guys about 343 or whoever making something outside of what they're known for making, right? All this is legendary, right? And the fact that Naughty Dog took 10 developers, right, and away from Uncharted 3, and started them on The Last of Us 2. You know what I mean? When here can with the family. No, just hit them get the biggest knife in the drawer. We gonna cut the bullshit out, right? You got the Xbox gonna say, well, that's those are just cookie cutter third person acts the same. What's the difference between Uncharted and what's the difference between The Last of Us? Cool. All that is subjective, but it their fan base and they enjoy it, and it was huge for them, right?
Yeah.
But they can do that, right? But you mean to tell me that Microsoft, whoever else with this big, huge studio, you know what I mean? I think also too, honestly though, to be fair, maybe it's some more like to do with the culture, you know what I mean? And with being, I don't know. Like I really don't. I'm trying to find a way to answer this, but I maybe like I said because in house, I know Microsoft spends a shitload of money, especially on Forza. The cars being the demo, they buy stuff. A lot of stuff is over the top. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a tax write-off or what, but a lot of stuff I think we don't need it as gamers. But I maybe still go like I don't know, I really don't know. But I can tell you this though, that is maybe a dying genre. You know what I mean? More or less. These big budget story driven games. Once you one and done and or something. I don't. Unless it has to be great. Like I said, The Witcher. Those are few and far between. You don't get to meet Michael Jordan. In the league or LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. So those come around every 10, 15 years. That franchise there is
yeah.
I mean.
But here's the thing though, and I'm this too. So when you have a service-based game that's successful, like Overwatch, right?
Yes.
Like Overwatch is a brand new IP, and Destiny. We'll use those two as an example.
Okay.
In fact, those are probably the two best examples of this gen. We're talking about IPs because we already had IPs that are already popular, like Call of Duty, Battlefield. Those franchises were established even the gen before last gen. So they already made a name for themselves. But as far as this gen, Overwatch, Destiny, two huge service-based games. And I say Grand Theft Auto more because they really got into the online. This is the first Grand Theft Auto with online, to this level. And you saw what it does, 70 million, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But how many service-based games have failed? Look at Lawbreakers. It's a fucking disaster.
Okay.
Paragon, disaster. Battleborn, disaster. Everybody was hyped about The Division. Like, oh, it's going to be a Destiny killer. Ain't nobody playing that shit.
Still so
see what I'm saying?
It's still sold extremely well, though.
Yeah, it's so initial hype, and then it's dead. Like, no one cared. The initial hype. Any game with initial hype will do good the first week because it's hype.
No, not 10.
And then when you actually...
Yeah,
then when the game... Yeah. And then when the game died out, no one's really playing it anymore.
Yeah,
with this 10 million. Look at Titanfall. Look at Titanfall 1. That sold like 10 million. Ain't nobody playing that one.
Not now.
Yeah, how much? Like 12? No, then nobody pay. People stopped playing that before Titanfall 2 came out.
No, it wasn't that bad. You can go up there and find.
Yeah, it was. Don't you remember? Remember one of your first Beastfire podcasts with and then it was me, P Reaper, and Dealer Gaming, me and Dealer Gaming we get into our arguments, and then he brought up Titanfall, how everybody's playing it, and then T Reaper, he doesn't know how to play the game. He's just honest. He will say what's on his mind without realizing what he was doing. And he just came out, well, yeah, it's a great game, but too bad nobody plays it on Xbox. And Dealer Gaming is like, what are you talking about? Everybody's playing it. He's like, no, I'm looking at it right now. Only 1,700 people on this. And Dealer was fucking mad. He's like, what is this motherfucker doing, bro? Like, why is he saying that shit live on it? But T Reaper's just an honest dude. And he was, because T Reaper was like, I'm looking at my Xbox right now. Only 1,700 people are playing. No one plays this game. I'm like, oh shit, Dealer, have anything to say?
Hey,
he's like, well, it's a good game.
Hey, yo, this one I had him on the rope, right? Throwing the towel.
Yo, when T Reaper, I was like, shout out my man. I was like, Dealer, anything to say? And he's like, well, it's a great game. It's probably, it's a Monday. I was like, but what I'm saying is, think about this. When we think of service-based games, it's really somebody trying to copy the success. That's what Lawbreaker is.
Okay, I give you that.
Copy.
A little unreal.
You know what I'm saying?
What everything else is going on. That I will give you. You know what I mean? Well, look at
one more game. Look at Anthem. Look at Anthem. Everybody right off the bat, with nobody even there, it looks beautiful, gorgeous. Looks absolutely gorgeous, right?
Destiny.
Now, without exact. That's the point I'm trying to say. Why is it a Destiny killer? Because it looks like Destiny in a third-person view.
I mean, I think
none of us played it. We don't even know the point of the game yet. But it looks similar to Destiny, so now that's the Destiny killer. It's a carbon copy.
I think they call it the Destiny killer because of the RP element of it. And buying with you can grind and get gear and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a carbon copy. What if here's a question? What if it's a bad carbon copy of Destiny. What do you think is gonna happen? Everybody's gonna go back to Destiny.
I mean, listen, I didn't. When I saw that game, I didn't look at Destiny. When I saw that game, I saw Mass Effect. Where would the multiplayer?
In a way, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see. I thought of Destiny in a third. From what I hear about the game, I think of Destiny, but in third person, because you know some people like third person better than first.
Destiny reminds me of
some people don't like first person shooter.
I don't really care for Destiny. But when I saw that,
but you don't like first person shooters.
No, I mean I don't, but you know, it was a good game. It was a good game. You know, I'm not the biggest Halo guy, but when I seen that, it just looked like a multiplayer big thing, a prettier version of Mass Effect. You know, with the grind and RPGs and stuff, all the action. You know what I mean? But to your point though, Puerto Rock, man, you kind of like you say, far as games being carbon copies, or let's look. The reason why Gears in the 360 era was very successful because it was something new, right?
Yeah, it was unique.
Wow. Yeah, like I said, that first scene when you get at the helicopter, run up the steps, you get that first chainsaw kill. My God, I was like, you know, oh my, this is next generation high def, greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? And to listen, and not to be Debbie Downer, I've said this thing here in the past. I feel like in this generation, on anyone's side, you know what I mean? You know, when you went back and forth with this, like far as the number of titles we got, I'm talking about, you know, notable games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again, at the start of this generation, we went through a lot of the cross-gen development. You know what I mean? When it was on the PS3, the PS4, the 360, and the Xbox One. So those games, you listen, the greatest Tomb Raider was or is, that was still on the 360. You understand what I'm saying? So as great as that game could have been, it still had to be made to fit around the parameters of a half a gig of RAM, right? And then when I really got what I was saying then. Well, no, this was look a little different. Yeah, it's a prettier version of the same game. Basically, maybe my game could have been bigger. Maybe I could have went to every single store, you know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. But yeah, of course, this version here is going to look better, but it's the same game. All right? We can agree on that, right? No disagreements?
Yeah. Okay. It's pretty much same thing like Destiny on PS3 and PS4 is the same game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but listen, even with that,
it's the same shit.
Even with that, Puerto Rock, remember, and listen, and since I've been, you know, praying to my Gears of War, that's my new religion, right? And I noticed. Now, I said I can't tell about this. I can't tell between 30 and 60 frames. When I played Destiny, it seemed extremely slow. I said, "Oh wow, this plays slow, right?" And then, you know, and I remember what they said when Destiny came out, that the reason why it's 30 frames is because they have for the PS3 and the 360. And like, no, Bungie never made a 60 frame game before ever, but you know what I mean? It wasn't true, but you know what I mean?
They never made a 60 frame game. Bungie never made it.
Making the PC version, someone else made it, you know what I mean? So, hold on 1 second, P-Rock, let me get my dog out in the back. Hold on 1 second.
All right. Hey, so, you know, he's about to pee himself. That's what he's actually doing. All right. So, what do you guys think in the chat? You know what I'm saying? About single player and this whole thing dying. I don't think it's going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it going anywhere. Is it going to be as successful as multiplayer games, the service-based games? No. But again, only certain service-based games have been successful this gen. It's not all of them. It's not like it's automatic, you know? In fact, I probably could name more new successful single-player games than I can new service-based. Because when I think of service-based games, the new ones that came out this gen is Overwatch, Destiny. I mean, you can say Grand Theft Auto, but it actually started on 360 PS3 and got ported over. But we'll include Grand Theft Auto 5. I know people are gonna say Call of Duty and Madden, but those games, we had those games forever. Those games were established as iconic IPs. Over here's this. Let me ask you a question. Off the top of your head, think of all the service-based games that started out this gen. I'm talking about created this gen. How many of them do you see were successful that you can name?
Service-based games that was created this generation. Let's go. Let's have fun.
For this gen.
All right.
Okay.
Got,
Overwatch.
Okay. Overwatch, of course. You got Destiny, of course. We just going by games that sold well. Whether who's playing them now, it is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. We're not talking about like opinions. We're not going to talk about opinions. Yeah.
Oh, player base. The Division sold extremely well.
Yeah.
Star Wars sold extremely well. What else did we have? Something else. I don't know if we still want to count Minecraft. That's old. Let's see. Multiplayer on the multiplayer tip. Of course, the duties. You know, the Halo.
No, but the duties and Halos were already established.
Oh, you said okay. You said new games.
For this gen, yeah. For this gen.
Okay, we haven't gotten really too many things new. Injustice. Maybe we can even say that's in the service-based games now. You know, with the stuff that you can buy. Would you agree with that too?
I think they just took something and evolved it.
Yeah, but
Because I
as
mean,
far as like,
we always had, if we always had, yeah, but we always had. I mean, hell, we had that last year. I mean, last gen with Street Fighter when they were providing characters and
no,
clothes.
have you played Injustice?
Well, yeah, I bought it. I got it.
All right, hey, you went through the what do you call it? The alternate
The
universe
Luke.
and all that. Yeah, bro,
Yeah.
you can spend actually money in that game.
Yeah, they actually added more stuff. I think they
Even
evolved
2K,
it. Yeah.
even 2K now. Look how the way 2K is now.
Oh yeah, they just getting we just getting robbed now with that shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like you know what I mean. But again, when I, listen,
But I would say, hold up, with 2K, the VC coins, coins, you know, so you can boost. Yeah.
Now with something in my park and my play, that's something totally different.
Yeah, so you build your character up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you remember Knockout Kings, I think it was called, whatever? The boxing game from EA.
Oh yeah, the last one was Fight Night Champion.
Fight Night Champion. Remember the story mode?
Yes.
You could pay to get your characters built and shit like that. In that too. You could buy coins and build up your boxer. Clothes, sneakers.
Oh, I mean, that's okay. In that aspect, yes, that's nothing new. Being able to buy a different color gi, a different color shoe. But the way that it is now in the culture, even with, like I said, you know why Grand Theft Auto was as huge as it is, bro? To be honest with you, don't get me wrong, it was huge. It was really big for shock value during the PS2 era. What's that with the 6th generation? But wasn't until they added the multiplayer. If you look at the percentage, no one really finishes the story of Grand Theft Auto. Everyone goes straight online, which I've never really played online. I've played Grand Theft Auto 4 online a couple of times, and they have Red Dead 2, Red Dead, the thing for that whole multiplayer thing. You know what I mean? So the fact that that game came out, last generation, or what's that thing, was the most successful game, 70 million copies or something?
Yeah.
It's bananas. But it's, again, like shout to Garrett, Kingsblood Gaming. He said that he spends like $100 on, just to get the stuff every month. You know what I mean? Like every month he just spends, $100, just to buy the points or whatever, just to have everything. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah. But I would say and I'm not saying single player games is more successful than multiplayer games, because obviously multiplayer games are making more money because of longevity. So like a game like Grand Theft Auto, let's say like San Andreas, once you beat it, there's not much more you can do. But there's people that wish they can keep playing Grand Theft Auto forever. So the feeling of playing Grand Theft Auto forever was always there. It just wasn't possible until now online showed. So this game sold 70 million because people can now play Grand Theft Auto forever.
Yes,
they could always play the game forever.
They double dip. You got it on the 360.
The
PS4.
But now they could because of the online mode is like playing Grand Theft Auto over and over and over, but different. But here's the thing. In a sense, while that's great for Rockstar and that's great for the game, that's not healthy for the industry either, because that's millions of gamers. That's the only thing they're playing. So if they're only playing Grand Theft Auto, then you could look at games like Cuphead or games like, The Witcher, or, think of all the games that come out throughout the year. They're not even looking at those games. Why? Because they're just playing this one game, and then that's it. When they turn on their console, it's Grand Theft Auto, and when they stop playing Grand Theft Auto, the console's off. That means everybody else is assed out. That's not healthy for the industry either. We could look at, imagine, all the people that won't play God of War because now they could play just Grand Theft Auto and that's it. We had God of War and Grand Theft Auto side by side on the PS2 and even on the PS3. But again, you can't play Grand Theft Auto forever. So when you stop playing the game, you want to move on to something else. Oh shit, God of War is out. Cool, I'll play that since it's a new experience. But now they don't have to look on the shelf for God of War, because they still getting the experience they want from Grand Theft Auto. Then when Spider-Man comes out, I'm not buying that either. Fucking Sea of Thieves comes out, I'm not buying that either. I got what I want, but that's all I'm playing.
Okay,
that's not healthy either.
But here's the thing, though. You got to realize that, right? God of War will appeal to the die-hard PlayStation hardcore gamer. It's not going to probably appeal to the Call of Duty guys, the Madden guys, the 2K guys. You know what I mean? So that's not their audience. Or even the guys that play Grand Theft Auto. You know what I mean? You casual gamers buys about 5 games or 4 games a year. They know they're going to get their duty. They're going to get their their Battlefields or their Maddens, their 2Ks. You know what I mean? That's what they're guaranteed to get. You know what I mean? Every year. You know what I mean? Like clockwork. You guys into baseball, you go out and buy your baseball. Like my neighbor, he plays the Xbox. He gets Forza every time that comes out, and Madden and Duty. That's it. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but not saying it's not healthy for gaming. I mean, gaming and the whole has grown. I mean, like it's huge. You know what I mean? Billions and billions. Actually, right now, talking about money wise, you know, it's outpacing the movie department, movie and music. Like video games are the number one source of entertainment as far as value. You know what I mean? Make the most money and all that stuff. But again, you have certain things that's going to appeal to a certain gamer. And you got that whole large demographic out there. You know what I mean? You got your diehards. I used to say you got your alt-right and you got your alt-left. You know what I mean? One got alternative effect, the other one got fake news, man. I'm somewhere down the middle. You know what I mean? Now, me, like I said, we you know, well, even with you, Puerto Rock, you're a diehard gamer, whatever the case. You know, I admit that I put the C in casual, maybe sometimes the C in Caucasian, right? But that's me. I'm a sellout. But I say that to say this, right? Even with all that being said, you don't get everything. You know what I mean? Or you wait till it go down. You know what I mean? You get what you like. You know. See me, I'm an opposite. Now I had to, how you say, restrain. I will buy everything and just have so much. And then I got ADs. I go from this way, a little bit of this. I go, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. And like that, so you get that big back catalog. You get that beard belly. It's called it in the game. We call your back catalog. That's your beard belly. You got this big gut right now. I'm gonna go back and play it. I'm gonna go back and play it. You know what I mean? But I gotta, with me, it's a sucker. I mean, that game just came out. I just gotta have it to pop the seal. And a lot of gamers are like that. You know what I mean? You go back and Nick, you play as Gears and 2K. I can't help it. You know what I mean? I can't help it. You like what you like. I'm gonna buy it. You know what I mean? Not everything holds my attention just to have it. I mean, I could talk about it, but you know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I won't say it's unhealthy for gaming, but just that they have things that's going to appeal to certain. Look, prime example, right? And you got to agree with this. Prime example, right? At the start of the year, January, Sony had a strong push. I'm sorry for putting out games. The what do you call it? Gravity Rush 2, this, that, and the other, right? And that appealed to a certain core of their audience, right? Yeah. If you look at the 60 million install base to compare to the number of people that bought those games, the games that you gotta realize this too. The people that are in these comment section that go back and forth with us guys, or you can listen to these hour-long shows, they are what you call the diehards. You know what I mean? So yes, it's important to them, but on the grand scheme of things, you know what I mean? It's really not that. It's not. Those are not big. I'm not saying they're not good games. Okay. You know what I mean? Oh, what are you talking about? What's better than that? Listen, I'm not talking about what's better. All that's subjective. I'm talking about like far as and listen, and then again, I commend Sony for that. I've always, like I said, we got the whole, those Tinky Winky and all that stuff, right? At the end of the day, those games they're put out, even though they may not appeal to me, Puerto Rock, Sony fans like them and love them. You know what I mean? And that's a plus. You know what I mean? They're not going to sell in the boatloads. NAC 2, who the fuck asked for a NAC 2, Puerto Rock? Who the hell was asking for NAC 2?
Yeah, that surprised me too. I ain't gonna lie. The only thing I like about NAC 2 is not the game itself, but it's Sony's dedication to try to put out sequels. They at least try. They're gonna be like, we're gonna give this one more go, because that's what they did with Gravity Rush 2 and NAC. We're gonna give this one more go. But if it doesn't work out, we ain't doing this no more. They ain't gonna be
Gravity Rush on the Vita. I got it on the Vita somewhere. I had it on the Vita. You know what I mean? And maybe it might.
So they put a remaster. They made 2. It might catch on because they kind of did the same thing with Uncharted. Even though Uncharted was a lot more successful than NAC 1, but it wasn't a Gears. It wasn't Gears though. We can admit that. Gears 1 killed.
Uncharted 4 killed for you guys.
Yeah,
that was huge. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That was really, like I said, with that. And maybe because they added the multiplayer aspect to it. I don't know, but that was big for you guys. You know why it was big for you guys? Because shit was sparse. You didn't have anything. Okay. That's why it was big. Look at this dude. It was smart business. Then they did the bundle around the holiday seasons. You know what I mean? They still count like Wii Sports. Yeah. Even though it was bundled with every Wii that you bought, which I always thought was crazy. Like, damn, I really counted as a sell. It comes in the box, but it counted as a sell.
It counts as a sell.
100 million copies sold, or whatever the case may be, man. But I don't know, Puerto Rock, man. Let me ask you a question, right?
What's up?
Your show. Let me ask you a question. The overall, like I said, as far as gaming right now, you got Microsoft. Oh no! Listen, I don't want to talk to you too, bro. We're gonna talk about those Nintendo numbers. Don't ever bet against black, bro. I ain't never wrong. We're gonna talk about those Nintendo numbers, right? But you got Microsoft, you got Sony. You got Microsoft on the right, Sony on the left, right? East and the west, right? Yeah. You got Nintendo somewhere down there by your legs, right? Boom, right? Microsoft and Sony's, they're both out there going for the, the Microsoft is down on the scorecards, leading into the last round, the 15th round. Microsoft need to knock out a couple months behind. They're out there at least trying. But well, I don't know what the hell Microsoft is doing now. I don't know. Maybe I really don't know. That interview with Sanders Loftus and talking about Recore is just as big. I don't know, right? So anyway, then you have Nintendo doing their own little thing over there, right? And then, and I've always said this, that all new hardware or console more or less sell pretty well. And it's something different. All right, cool. And I said that I want to see how I will gauge the success of the Switch once it comes out. It has to compete against the big holiday multi-plats. The Duties, the Destinies 2, the Star Wars, the Red Dead Redemptions, right? Because again, and here's the thing: Mario is going to sell well, extremely well, right? There's no negating that. But Mario is not going to outsell Call of Duty on either platform. You can pick whatever platform you want to pick. Whether it's the Xbox, whether it's the PlayStation, right? Maybe if Nintendo's lucky, Mario might sell 5 million. You know what I mean? 5 million, which is good. It's good for them. You know what I mean? But again, so I say that to say this: after Mario, what else do you have? You know what I mean? You got a new console in the market. You got this, again, big, huge multi-plats. And like those numbers, just being honest, like, you know what I mean? Just topping 2 million in the States already. But the way they sell it, like all that stuff be hype and propaganda. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like, you know what I mean? It'd be hype. You know what I mean? If you barely selling 2 million time from launch to now, right? Microsoft and Sony are going to do 1 million alone in November. Guaranteed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Guaranteed. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not so impressed. That's just one month alone. You came out in March. I'm not that impressed with those numbers. Am I missing something here?
The numbers are impressive because you got to look at it this way. They didn't have a holiday sale yet. They're going to sell 1 million too. Also, they're not. They're going to sell 1 million in November.
How are they going to sell 1 million? What did they say? We have trouble keeping up with the demand.
No, they're already pushing up 2 million. They bumped it up to 2 million units a month now.
They're full of shit.
I'm telling you, the thing's going to sell like 1 million in November. That's probably why they launched early in the year, because they probably couldn't. They probably didn't have enough, or wasn't. Not probably. We know they weren't going to be able to produce enough for November 2016.
In November.
I'm telling you, what happened?
I'm not
going to say they went. They could, but I will put it this way: they're going to sell 1 million though.
Oh,
they're going to sell 1 million.
I mean, whatever.
They're going to sell. There's going to be 3 platforms. All 3 platforms are going to sell 1 million. It's just whether who sells the most.
And that
to be tier 1, 2, and 3.
You know what? And that answers your question. You asked me earlier on. You said, "Is that healthy for gaming?" If both manufacturers can sell 1 million consoles in the month of November, gaming is headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I agree.
What's going up? Whether we like it or not, whether it's changing, you may not. You may like we the old guardians at the gate. Yeah. You may not like it. Cool, but overall, you know what I mean. Even like I said, look, bro. Let me be honest with you, right? And this is the guys on this truth. I get a lot of slack from Xbox fans, because I don't really agree with the direction that Microsoft, that they're the things that they've chosen to do. And I wasn't one of the ones that was so much on the gate singing the praise of Phil when he got the promotion, because the things that happened since Phil been in charge, I really haven't. I don't really agree with. You know what I mean? Xbox Play Anywhere and
Shannon
no third party deals. Horrible marketing, all that came under Phil. Now you can say what you want about Donnie D, but all that all that came up under Phil. You know what I mean? So I wasn't really thinking this person, you know what I mean? But even like I said, listening to this interview, what's he feels healthy for gaming, and like I don't, bro, you know what I mean? I don't understand the direction that they're going in. I'm gonna
say 2 things. We'll start with Phil. One. Who named him the ambassador of gaming? Sony doesn't need his help. They're like, mind your business. Don't worry about what we do. If we don't want crossplay, we don't fucking not gonna do it. Stop talking. Worry about. Here's my thing, because for the last 6 months, you keep hearing about, ever since the whole Rocket League shit when it started, Phil's been adamantly talking about crossplay. Listen, move the fuck on. Sony doesn't want to deal with you. Focus on your own shit now. You're not gonna get the crossplay with them. Focus on your own gaming stuff. You know what I mean? Did I cut out? I think I cut out.
Yeah, I'm just here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, see? So focus on your platform. Listen, if Phil focuses on Xbox, Miyamoto focuses on Nintendo, and and Yoshida focuses on Sony, everything's going to be fine, because everybody's focusing on their piece of the pie. The whole meal is going to be good. As long as everybody worrying about, it's kind of like us in Thanksgiving dinner. I'd be like, yo, next gen, you bring, the mac and cheese and the turkey. I'm gonna do the roast pork and Spanish rice. Fucking King's Blood will bring in the liquor. As long as everybody does their part, we're good. But don't worry about my roast pork and rice. And now you burnt the mac and cheese because you're trying to pay attention to my shit. Like, yo, worry about your shit. I'll worry about my shit, and everybody wins.
Even better.
Phil doesn't need to worry about gaming as a whole. No one anointed him the Jesus of gaming. He's not that dope.
Emmanuel the Baptiste. Listen, right?
Yeah.
Even better, right? And I said this. I mean, you know what's crazy? I'm gonna say this little sidebar. I don't want some people think we got beef or I hate you or anything. Like we talk.
No, I don't know.
I think they get caught up in the characters that we have fun here in the shout, right? But anyway, right? Check this out, right? I just want to say that there. Like, oh my God, you got Zaire up there that you guys hated each other. Like, what the hell? So look, right? Like we talked about things off the air and on our phones and stuff, right? And I said, that with Microsoft, right? And I said this on air. I said this on air. I said, worry about the Xbox division, right? You're so worried about the Windows now and Windows Play this thing. You understand Microsoft is Windows. I get it, right? But you figure you're neglecting your core. And that's one of the things that I'm most concerned about, right? And again, like people could say what I want about me. You can't tell me nothing. Listen, the slogans that you guys say this generation come from me. Bleed green, be the behemoth you are, Sony pony, all that kind of connection, right? So, and when I say like this, I'm not saying that I'm anybody or anyone has to listen to me, but if I have a problem, and again, this is not nothing new with what I'm talking about. I've been talking about this for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah.
And about the direction, this coming from the original Xbox. I'm not one of these YouTubers, right, that claim to be YouTube, but more or less, we're all biased. We all have our favorite. Like, look, you got kids, you have your favorite kid. I do. It is what it is, right? We're human. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? But you know what? I'm an Xbox guy at the end of the day, right? I was what you call it, Xbox Live beta test. Some of you guys didn't get your Xboxes 360 until about 2010. And you're going to tell me what's good for gaming, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. I've been playing video games since most of you jokers thought boogers was candy. True story, right? Now, right? So, and just going again, and I understand it when it comes to everything, it is a business, and sometimes to a fault, and that's Microsoft's biggest Achilles heels because they're too much of a business. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is what it is. If they're making money, scrap. Like, listen, we should have a Sunset Overdrive too. Invest in an IP, but I'm gonna come back to that in a minute, right? Yeah. So you look at back from the original Xbox, and they had all these types of games. I mean, all types of them. Like, to be honest with you, the original Xbox really was the sole successor to the Dreamcast, with all those unique type exclusives. Like, a lot of people don't know that. You had all
a lot of people they called it the Dreamcast too.
Yes, a lot of people don't know that, right? As far as the hardcore gamer, the PlayStation 2 was more the casual console. You had the big multi-platform, especially with the Grand Theft Auto. That was big for Sony. Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 3, not the 1 and the 2, but the 3 when it went 3D. You know what I mean? And the hype, killing hookers and stuff, and Nintendo didn't want to do it, and the Xbox that came out to the year later, and Sony locked it down. Because think about this: the original Xbox didn't get a Grand Theft Auto 3 until, and Sony was already on Grand Theft, and Andreas, with the black people on the cover, right? So that was that late, that far behind, right? So anyway, right? You had all these unique games, Otage, they brought back the Shmoo series, all these great, unique games, right? And then so for the original, for the first Xbox, you had Halo, right? Second generation, you had 360, right? Here it is in the Xbox One era, right? And I'm not saying anything because people look, they mix your words up. I'm not saying that they didn't have any exclusives, but they have not released an exclusive on the level as a Halo, as a Gears, or even as a Forza, or whatever the case. That's huge for them too. But we haven't gotten that next IP. Well, check this out, right? This is how you say men lie, women lie. We get the biggest knife in the drawer. We can cut the bullshit out.
Yeah.
Had they let Bungie make Destiny, right? Do something outside of which they wanted to do, we might even be having this conversation right now. And I don't care for Destiny. I can't even listen. I'm not saying it's a great game. It's trash. I'm not saying that, but it's a huge game, nonetheless. Huge. You know what I mean? Maybe we may not be having this conversation. Maybe it'll be something
Oh,
else.
no. It'll be a completely different gen if Destiny was exclusive
There you
to
go.
Xbox.
You know what I mean? There you go. But
That's
again,
it.
but I question their direction. And again, I'm gonna say something, and I've said this, but I don't lie, right? People say what you want. I'm not a liar. My opinion is my opinion. I have no reason to lie about video games. I'm a grown ass man, right? With an active sex life. Check this out, right? Check this out, right? I said to Phil, right? Because I peeped this back then. When they think, and listen, listen, I'm a Fable guy, right? I like the series, right? That Fable Legends, that's not really Fable, what it is. But when Microsoft panicked, they how you say, threw the baby out with the water. Like that was like the equivalent of Sony letting cut off Naughty Dog or Sony Santa Monica. You know what I mean? At least you had Fable, Gears, Halo, and you know what I mean? You had an RPG, you had 2 shooters in a race, 2 different races. You know what I mean? You had everything covered. Boom, right? Check this out. And I said this don't right on the wall. And I said, this ain't right. And then his thing with the quantum break, every game, day and daily. Oh man. I said to Phil, I don't, this is crazy. That motherfucker Phil was a silver tongue devil. I said to Phil, I don't want to see my preferred console become a service. No, we're excited about the future. And this, that, the other. And this motherfucker here talking about some service-based games and everything's a service. So, going forward, you know what I mean? I don't know. I really don't know. Are we still dealing with generations? Are we still, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm gonna say this: the whole generational. I'll say 2 things. Let's start back with the gaming, the direction game.
Oh, lost you.
The office is there, no matter what. She's not the one for the job. And here's the thing: people rely on Phil for gaming, but remember, Phil had Shannon Loftus' job. He was in charge of first party publishing and gaming, and wheeling and dealing, talking to third party. That was his job. He got promoted, and now he's even a made man sitting at the Knights of the Round Table. Kiss the ring.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Oh, you hear me? You hear me?
You're breaking up.
Okay, so all right. So
wait, you're buying. Hold up. Do this. Wait.
I'm buying out.
You're buying.
Okay, so I'm about to come back in.
Yeah. Just hit the X button. Don't hit the hang up button. Hit the X button and hop right back in. Close it out and then hop right back in.
Oh shit.
The X in the corner. Don't hit the hang up button. Hit the X. Like close the window.
All right.
And now you can hop back. You can hop right back in on the same link. Like I do.
Okay. All right.
Close the window, like the X. Don't hit the hang up button, and then the link that you send me, click that. You come right back to the call.
All right.
If you wanted to, yeah. I think he hung the show up. I think he hung the show. I think he hung the show up. I think he hung the show up. You guys can still hear me? Okay, all right. Well, we still good. Yeah, but anyway, I'm a little concerned. Yeah, we're still live. Yeah, okay, we're still live. Anyway, I'm a little concerned. The direction that they're going into. You back, Puerto Rock?
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, you sound good now. There you go.
All right, we good? All right.
Yeah.
So we'll listen.
Oh, it went out again. Puerto Rock got a horrible connection. But anyway, like I said, as he was saying, Phil had Shannon's job, before he got the promotion, right? But even some of the decisions that you guys blame Donnie D for, and I asked you guys this. I said, you back?
Yo, I swear to God, Microsoft be fucking trying to hack me and shit.
He's back. There you go.
But anyway, whatever direction Microsoft's going, Shannon Loftus is not the person for the job. Phil had her job. He was in charge of all that, right?
Yes, sir.
Third party publishing, wheeling and dealing, first party game. He got promoted, and now he's a made man. He's part of the special elite, whatever, kicks the ring, few good men, whatever. He's not going to go back to dealing with that first party publishing stuff. He might supervise it. He might want to be briefed about it.
Okay.
But he sure as hell is not going to do her job. That is her job. She needs to figure it out.
Okay.
Either figure it out, right? But now with the mentality, with the mentality that she has, when you heard this, you know this, when they asked her about Gears of War and Halo, and if there was an IP that Microsoft created for Xbox this gen, in her mind, Recore and Quantum Break could answer that question. You understand? So in her mind, she thinks those games are on the level. And I'm not saying they're bad games. I'm not saying that. But I think it's clear that Quantum Break and Recall are not on the level of Gears and Halo. Those two games are top shelf blockbusters. Quantum Break and Recall are not. But if in her mind she thinks it is, then what type of content you're gonna get in the future? You know, in her mind, she could easily say, "Hey, we're not going to release Halo 6 in 2018 because we got Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
That's going to be our headliner." And people are going to be like, "What the fuck?"
You know what, Pull Out? Check it out, right? I look at it like this, and I don't. Phil's hands is not clean. He has the blood of the innocents on his hands. You know why? Because the fish, how you say, rots from the head back, right? At the end of the day, right? And I didn't know this. Like I used to see her on stage at E3 and stuff. She was the boss over there at Connect. No wonder we got that Zoo Tycoon and Connected and stuff, right? And that's why it goes back to me saying that this Microsoft, this regime, they don't know their core. You understand what I'm saying? The core what made them, you know, Xbox Live the success that it was. You know what I mean? Or make the 360 phenomenon that it was. You know what I mean? They've totally lost their identity. They're like a battered woman out there, literally. You know what I mean? Afraid of their own shadow. Be the behemoth you are, right? They are. You know what I mean? And again, some of the decisions, look, that's what I'm trying to say. I question. You know what I mean? Are they, as far as for gaming, you have Capcom, right? And not saying I like everything that Capcom makes, right? But listen, I know I like fighters, right? And I understand Microsoft has their own fighter, right?
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, cool, right? But even that, they don't promote it as it should, right? It is what it is, right? Street Fighter 5, they got, I get it, right? And then they just got another exclusive Street Fighter game. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? And
like that's crazy. Like you would think after, and then granted, it was mostly Capcom's fault, but you think how Street Fighter turned out, things will be different second time. But once again, we're getting an exclusive Street Fighter. So like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, that's a little bothersome to me. You know what I mean? I understand you have your own what do you call it, fighter, but it's not Street Fighter. You know what I mean? It's still software on your console, and that's why I question a lot of even like Sega. Look, at the end of the day, right? Now listen, I don't like a lot of those Japanese games, right? You know that's not my thing, right? But you got a company like, especially when you don't have a lot of talent around. You know, I don't know what they're doing in these studios, but you got, I look at it like this, right? You got Sega, right? I'm old school. And maybe and a lot of these guys are probably watching the show, probably know what the hell I'm talking about. But Sega has a lot of classic IPs. You know what I mean? Whether it's the Golden Axis, the, you know, Streets of Rage, Sonic shit. You know, a lot of stuff like that they have over there. I've always said, you can make a deal, give those games doll them all up. It's not but a 2D, fighter going sideways, doll it up, $20, put it in the marketplace. Like those things just sell like fucking hotcakes, man. You know, like I don't know what are they doing. Listen, Obsidian, not Obsidian. What you calling people? This went down. This got Blissful Games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need another studio. Phil should have been right there with the check. Bam, let's go. Cuff them. You know what I mean? Cuff them. Because honestly, I'm listen. It's very unhealthy just to have Gears, Halo, and Forza. Now listen, I know you're gonna curse me out. I know some of you Xbox guys here. I know they have other games that are coming out next year. I am interested in State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves. You know what? I don't care for Rare. Okay, but are we guaranteed again for Microsoft to invest in those titles? And okay, Mega says, well, see, that's when we come in. Z, then that's a fact. That's when we come in. Yeah. We got no. That's not my job to do that. It's not my job to buy every Xbox game.
I'm the same way. People come to me be like, "Why aren't you buying GT Sport?" Because I don't like racers.
Yeah,
well, we're not gonna get more exclusives. I'm like that. Hey, listen, the console's there to entertain me. It's a product.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'm not. I don't buy Five Guys to support Five Guys. I buy it because it's a good burger. I'm hungry like a motherfucker. Yeah. I don't buy the sandwich and throw it away and be like, I did my duty for the day. It's a consumer product to entertain me. I don't like Gran Turismo, never did, but it's doing fine for those that do like it. That never made sense to me either. Like you have to buy no. How about you make things that attract me? Come out with every game's not, like you said before. Every game's not going to attract everybody.
No,
not everybody's going to like Horizon Zero Dawn, just like how everybody's not going to like Gran Turismo. Not everybody likes God of War. You understand? But but the people that don't like God of War might love Spider-Man, so they'll go buy Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Or they like Uncharted,
whatever. Or some people don't like Uncharted, but they love The Last of Us.
Listen, like I said here, we call it, you know what I mean? That's a Gary thing with that non-profit work, right? I'm a fan. Yeah, I'm a huge Xbox fan. My fans are there. I'm used to my fans. I'm sorry, my friends are there. I'm used to the ecosystem. You know, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You're more invested on the PlayStation side of things. I get it, right? But at the end of the day, right? You know, I may not go anywhere, right? I may, you know, because like I said, I'm still going to play the multiplayer, right? But even though I own everything, but a lot of gamers don't think like me. They're not as comfortable as me, and and a lot of people can't afford multiple consoles. That's why I'm not really too sold on the Switch because I'm coming from a day and age when Nintendo had all the third party support, and I still believe it's a problem when developers have to go out of their way to shoehorn a game in or try to get it to work on your console. To me, it's a recipe for disaster. Like, they're not going to get the anthems and all that stuff again. Those games are huge, right? So anyway, so the multi-platform is going to be here for the foreseeable future, right? But going forward, maybe you got little Billy or little Rob out there again from the ghetto that can't afford multiple consoles, right? You understand what I'm saying? And they have to pick, like, damn, you know what? I can't get both of them, but if I get the PlayStation, I get more, whatever the case, more AAA exclusives or whatever the case. I don't understand it. Now, listen here again. I said this 2 years ago, right? When it really became obvious. I don't understand how Sony has a fraction of what you have or to access the resources, right? Even after Japan not backing them, even after their junk status being run, you know, Nielsen they rating they credit everything as junk. They're still out there out hustling you. They're still doing third party deals, all this stuff. I could listen to the commercials. I couldn't understand it, bro. You know what I mean?
I'll
Well,
be
he
honest.
go crap. Well, see, I see. When I watch Wheel of Fortune, I watch. Man, what?
Listen,
Who
man.
the hell is watching The Price is Right?
Listen, I don't know if they're making it up, bro. When I look at your videos and you have your advertisements, it's no lie, it's PlayStation.
I know. I know.
Yo, it's not even Xbox. It's that I swear, like when you said that one time, I think this guy's just coming up with his bullshit, just saying shit up. And then I paid attention. I'm like, oh shit, it really is PlayStation advertisements on a pro Xbox channel. Like, you're like, Pro is dog shit, and then it cuts to the middle. Oh, the new PlayStation Pro with Destiny, get yours for $399. I'm like, yo, that shit is funny, bro. I'm
yes, sir. You know what I mean? But again, like I said, at the end of the day, right? I listen, and to be fair, if you want things to change or whatever, and this is like with Nintendo, why they are the way they are, like, you know what I mean, like, and people are just cool with it. It's okay that I don't need multi-platform. That's, to me, that's the craziest thing I can hear ever. Like, I don't that type of talk I don't understand. Oh, I don't need the cell phone app. I don't really talk when I play online anyway. Stuff like that I would never understand. You know what I mean? I don't understand that right there. Like, ain't that much fanboy in the world. And listen, I'm an Xbox dude. If I needed my cell phone to talk, I don't have to talk around my mouth. To play online and this, that, and the other, like, bro, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Nah,
I don't know, man.
Today ain't the answer, Sway. But if you want them to do better, you know what I mean? Don't come to me. Like, I ain't calling nobody. I ain't saying no names here. Don't come to me confessing your sins and what you think Microsoft should do, and make a video. Not that you want to piss off a certain fan base of yours for the views or whatever the case may be. Because I never really did it for that. Anyway, I just do it for the cause I enjoy talking and running my mouth about games. But be honest, if you want things to change, because you got these jokers out there, you tweeting everything with Phil who Aaron, I'm saying you're cool with it. You know what I mean? And it's all right. Like, come on, man. That's Shannon. Listen, I don't have it. I don't listen. I don't, and I know it's how hard someone's going to lose their job, but that's not the right job for her. I don't know what her other expertise is. You know what I mean? I don't want to sound sexist or anything like that, but the fact that she came out and said Recore and stuff is on the level of a Halo and the Gears lets me know that she don't know what the hell she's talking about. Has she ever played the Xbox game before? This ain't the answer, Sway. You know what I mean? Super Lucky Tales. This ain't the answer.
She choked me out. Yeah, that's not the audience. It's good to have those games because it's always good to have kids games. But if you're trying to convince people, no one's gonna buy their 8-year-old a $500 console
exactly
to play a kids game.
Listen, but even better
they'll probably buy them a Switch before they'll do that.
Listen, Puerto Rock, you're missing a big picture here. The fact that they heckled back and forth with the Japanese developer to give us a true next generation version of what do you call it, Phantom Dust, right? I bought the first one for $20. You know what I mean? It was, it was such a niche game, but people in the States, it first came out in Japan, and I remember they started something, to start the process to get the game to come into the States, and you had to pre-order it. Japan, GameStop, we're gonna get that many copies in. Literally, it was $20 when I got it, right? So you make a long story short, right? So, they wanted $8 million more to give us a true next generation game or whatever of that version of Phantom does, and they happy about the price. But you spend the money to give us an Xbox One enhanced version of Kinect stuff and Zoo Tycoon. Like, who's gonna again? You don't you didn't have to doll those games out. If you want to put them out, fine. Maybe somebody might like them. But you have an Xbox One S for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's buying an X to play.
Zoo
I
Tycoon.
gotta get. Yeah, man, you see the HDR on that Zoo Tycoon, bro.
Yeah, that's not the audience that's buying that console,
And they don't know that. But when I say this, see, it's just I'm not saying it's variety. That's not what I'm saying. Like I'm really starting to think that it's not the context of my character, the color of my skin. I have a dream. You know what I mean? Like, for real, because had IGN or somebody else, somebody of a lighter persuasion, and I'm not even dark skin shit, right? Of a lighter persuasion was to say something. I mean, oh yeah, you're right. You know, I mean, literally, like I don't get. I think it's funny, but it's sad at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, are we just that much of a? Listen, I will admit when I'm wrong. All right, me joking out and playing, and my opinion is my opinion, right? But came to Sony point. I just still, because Sony guys will take anything that Sony give them or Nintendo guys to take anything, but I've come to realize a fanboy's a fanboy, bro.
No matter what console.
Yeah, I was in denial, bro. I thought we were a little older, but mature, stand up, bro. I don't even listen. I was wrong, man. I was
wrong. We all cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, man. I'm wrong, man.
That's it. Now let me ask you this: how you feel about and I'm going to show you what I lead up to. You know how we talked about 343 should be making a new game, right?
Yes.
They have the talent. I think you and I are both in agreement.
Yes.
That 343 should be managing at least 2 IPs: the Halo IP and a new IP, like Naughty Dog.
Yes.
All right. And there's nothing wrong with that. How do you feel that 343 is personally doing this X enhanced version of Halo Master Chief Collection, but it's not being ready till next year? So the work that they're doing now is to enhance a game that came out in 2014. How do you feel? Like, it's clear they have the time to do a new game. If they're doing this, and I can understand if the Master Chief Collection was going to be ready this year, but it's not going to be ready till at least, I think they're saying spring or maybe summer. So it's taking them a while to do this. Don't you think that effort would have been better put to a new IP?
I'm going to answer this for you. I'm going to be squeaky clean as possible. I'm going to give you the PG-13 version of this question, right? It's like, I'm old school. I'm not old school. I'm just saying we don't need more than one, and maybe because I'm not a big Halo guy, need more than one Halo one generation, because again, you can support that game with DLC like you do with Destiny. Tops is 2. All right, we already got Halo 5. We already had the Master Chief Collection. You already dolled it up already, right? To put it up there. Like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't need that.
Yeah, that's it. Do you really need to enhance Master Chief Collection when in reality, and I'm not a big Halo guy like you, but I would think it would be Halo 5 is the main.
I'm not a Halo guy at all.
Yeah. But I would think Halo 5 is the primary Halo Online game. So why put in the time to enhance something that I don't think even people enjoyed because it was broken? Like, it's already done. The game has a bad connotation behind it because of how it launched.
Yeah.
So why not put the energy into a new IP?
Again, but here's even why even argue with me and be mad at me for suggesting that they make something outside of that. No, listen, you gotta tell the whole story here. You know what I mean? Why look at me with the stank face? Because I suggested they make something outside of that, right?
And they got mad at you. Like,
I lost 2 subscribers behind it. Like, listen, and then I always tell you, like, since I've been doing this, and you know what I mean, that I've been, I don't look at it as a big deal. But people within the industry, I've never really cared about who made a game. Like, I'm not just. I think people think I say that to be cool or something. Like, it's not my thing. You know what I mean? But I've met some people, and certain individual from on the Microsoft side of things said to me his exact words, right? And like I say, also you'd be surprised who watches this show, that I didn't go to school to put myself $100,000 in debt just to make card games or just to make one games. We can make all types of stuff. And to give you, if you don't know what I'm saying, I mean playground games, I know them for the Forza Horizon series, and their next huge game is a RPG MMO. What they're doing, you know what I mean? And it's going to be a multi-plat. So the fact that, you know what I mean, I'm not saying just because you just know them for making card games, and they may be good at their card game, they can. I'll give you another prime example.
So
right?
the people did Forza Horizon.
Yeah, their next game is an RPG.
Open world.
Yeah, I'll give you a better example, right? And you're a little old, you may even get this right. Rare.
Yeah.
Well, what was your during the Nintendo era? What generation was that? Was that the first, second, third? If the PS2 was the 6,
yeah,
that had to be what the fourth.
With what on Super NES? On Super NES or
regular NES?
That's like the four. Oh, that's like the third generation.
Okay, third generation.
Whatever. Yeah.
The big. Okay, whatever. Okay, I'm taking the old school here, right? But the biggest racer that I can really recall on the third generation, and it may sound kind of cheesy, was RC Pro-Am. That was huge. And you know who made that? Rare.
Yeah.
Rare also made Killer Instinct.
Yep.
They made a whole
bunch and Banjo-Kazooie, Perfect Dark.
They made a whole bunch of things, you know what I mean? And to their credit, kudos to them, you know what I mean? They made a lot of different things. Just because when you think of Rare, you think of Killer Instinct, right? But he also made this, also made that. So when I say that, I don't know, like I said again, it's like they just a denial, and they really think they should make something else. I guarantee you, if they come out and announce something else, they're gonna be, oh yeah, Microsoft drops a mega tunnel or whatever the case. I'm not taking shots at anybody. I'm just being honest, but that's crazy. That's sheer lunacy. That you got a company in 343 has at least at a minimum of 400 employees, at least at a minimum. And you can in Naughty Dog, I'm not even talking about who's better, right? I'm not even saying that, right? But they took 10 people from the Uncharted team. There's another thing. I'm not saying whether the game was good or not, because the game was fine. I'm not saying that. But they took 10 people from the Uncharted team and started them on The Last of Us.
Yeah. And look how that turned out.
It was bigger than Uncharted, arguably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is. Technically, yeah.
So, again, I say that to say this. And you mean to tell me that they can't do the same thing over there? I'm not saying who's going to make the better game, but, like, come on. All I'm asking for is another AAA game on the level, like, as a Halo and the Gears, outside of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. Like I said, I think the next 2 years is going to tell a lot, maybe in the direction that they're going to go, or I don't know. Are they really serious about? You know what? I think Microsoft. This is true. This guy is true. Microsoft, honestly, I don't think they care about winning. It's not about winning to them.
No, it's money.
Money, and long as they have their software on everybody's platform, whether it's Minecraft, the different. Like I didn't realize this, right, bro? Talk to me. Microsoft owns all the stuff that the programs that you use to make the games and have it. Everything they buy behind it. Things they don't even talk about. You know what I mean? Don't even talk about. Don't even mention. They own the tools, the pencils, the erasers, the chalkboard, every damn thing. You know what I mean? See, when you think of trash, think of Akeem. Every damn thing. You know what I mean? And that's with their and as a hardcore fan, we go back and forth and brag. Maybe that doesn't really fit me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. But you know what I mean? I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. So anyway, I think we cut it up real good and shit like that and stuff. So what you doing? You doing any streaming today?
Yeah. I'm gonna do the show for the Patreon. So I don't know you guys here. So we're gonna do the exclusive podcast for you guys, and then probably playing some
nice.
Cuphead, you know what I mean? Something. How you liking that Cuphead?
How you like it?
I like it.
Oh, I beat it.
You beat it.
I fucking man, I beat that shit in 3 days. I got it Saturday. That shit, I beat that shit on Monday, bro. I don't fuck around, bro.
You know what? I can't really feel 3 of my fingers yet. Maybe that's why. Unless I just suck. I don't know. That goddamn game was hard.
Yo, shit, I don't fuck around, bro. I'm telling you, man, that shit really reminds the days of when I used to play Revenge of Shinobi and Ghouls and Ghosts. I used to be a madman in those games, bro. I wouldn't really quit until I perfected. Yeah, that shit brought back memories, bro. That's probably one of the most fun games I played all year.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. The times that I played it, I streamed it, live streamed it, whatever. I need to.
But that's a little hard, man. Streaming's hard. Streaming
and playing
because you have to
playing and talking. Yeah. And I'm not making no excuses. I told you I might put the C in casual and the C in Caucasian. But I know I would do better when just playing by my damn self. You know what I mean?
It is because I remember I was playing Uncharted, and it's hard to talk to people and play a game. Because I do one or the other. You know how it is, like when you play a game and people walk across the screen for like a split second, you look at them like, what the fuck? I'm that dude. Like, don't talk to me. Like, just leave me alone. I'm in the zone. That shit ain't easy, bro. Streaming. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I ignore the chat And when people are like, Puerto say something, I'm like, oh shit, my bad. I'm just here playing shit. You know what I'm saying? I just be playing. That's why I don't stream a lot, because I just don't, you know. Maybe like after I beat the game, I'll stream it, and you know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
hard.
just,
Like I
it's
said,
just,
you know, my party be full. I be entertaining. They be talking to me,
Yeah.
talking to the chat. Party over here. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It is, man. But no, man, thank you for having me, though, man. We gotta do it next Saturday.
Yo, they put in the chat. Puerto takes 3 days to be Cuphead. Next Gen Kids move 3 months. Yo,
man.
hey, respect the members of this panel.
I got no respect. So they talk about me, bro. So they talk about me, man.
You're doing the man, dude. You know what I'm saying?
My man knew I was in a long-term relationship with his grandmother for 8 years. You gonna talk about me like that, bro?
Anyway, people. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this another episode of Puerto'S Point Live right here on a Saturday. You know, Yankees are playing today, Game 7. We got to do it. Go hard or go home. And you know, Shannon Lawfitz, find a new job. All right? That's all we gotta say. Peace.
Yeah.